Thank you, everybody, for joining us again here on Chamber Chat. We are very fortunate this week to have a special couple. This is Jason and Marie. They own Family Black Belt Academy in Lower Queen Anne on the north side. And I think you'll be touched to hear their story and the things that they're doing in their business. So, Jason and Marie, thank you so much for taking the time. I appreciate it. If you would, one of the things we've talked about recently is what's on everybody's mind this year and COVID and how that's impacting them personally as well as small business owners. What has happened with your business in regards to COVID? How have you handled it?
So it's been quite a journey. We started first week, we of course had the shutdown, and then over the summer we started teaching our martial arts classes in the park, which were going great. And then the smoke and the fires happened, and we had to shut down for that too. Just whatever we're doing, 2020 is just shutting us down, right? And so then we did look at, okay, well now, we can open up, gyms are opening up, how can we do this, and can we do this safely, and can we do it safer than some other businesses are doing this? That's really important to us. And I think we found a really, really good balance. So we installed these UV lights, 3 of them, into our HVAC system, which are really powerful UV lights. They're bombarding the air with the UV so that the air that's coming in is very, it's great. It's very, very safe. Then we also installed this box fan in one of our doorways, and we framed that in. So when we have classes, we actually have extra airflow coming in, which is great. Then we went ahead and we taped off stations. So everybody gets their own station. And then we bought new bags. So everybody gets their own bag. And then we still require everybody has to wear a mask. And we wanted to see, how could this go? Could the kids do this? Can they do the classes with their masks on? And the answer is yes, they can do just fine. It's driving me nuts when I see people on Facebook. Well, I can't wear a mask. Our 4-year-olds can do it. So have some black belt grit, right? So we started this off, and we can have, right now, it depends on the square footage. So we can have about 9 students per class. And right now, we're not really making money. But right now, we're looking at this as, well, let's not focus on making a profit. Let's not focus on making a lot of money right now. Let's just focus on surviving. And can we survive at this rate? And the answer is yes. And eventually when we get to phase 3, eventually when we can open up more, great. In the meantime, how long is this? Is this 6 months? Is this a year? Well, however long that is, we can keep the business going. And that's the important thing. And the classes have been going great. So we still have some spots. We don't have a lot, but we still do have some spots. So if people are interested, definitely reach out to us as soon as you can, because those spots are going to fill up probably pretty soon.
Yeah. I love hearing stories over and over again from small business owners like you that have found such innovative ways to fight through this virus and keep things safe for everybody involved. So
yep. Yeah.
So what would you say makes your business special?
Sure. So first of all, the business has evolved. I've changed a lot over the years. So I became the head instructor, and actually this school wasn't Family Black Belt Academy at first. At first, it was martial sports. I became the head instructor in 2000. I was going to college, and then shortly after college, I had the opportunity to buy it. And for the first 10 years that I was running it and then owned it, it was the focus was on the sport, the competition. So all the students, were training and trying to get a black belt. And with competition, you either like it or you hate it, right? Especially with kids. If you're doing good at it, you love it. If you're getting trounced, you hate it, right? So we had a competition team. And I thought that this was where I could give the students the most. And the competition team, it was only for about 5 to 10% of the students. Everybody else could work on getting their black belt. But those kids, the competition team, were coming in 4, 5, 6 days per week, 2 to 3 hours a day, right? Whereas most students, you come in twice a week, for an hour each time, right? And so the kids that were on the competition team, we're competing regionally and nationally and even internationally. And, they're winning all these medals and trophies. And I thought, that was the best that I could do was teach them how to be champions. And my perspective changed. 10 years ago, I got a handwritten letter from one of my old students. And this guy had gotten his black belt from me when I had just become the head instructor. And so he trained with me for a couple of years, got his black belt, and I'll never forget that letter. So he was not on the competition team. He had gotten his black belt. So of course I knew him, but I didn't know him as well as the other students that were training, 5 to 10 times as much, right? But I still knew him, right? So he got his black belt, and he writes me this letter, and he says, "Hey, Master Purcell, I'm about to be a father. And I've been thinking a lot about my life, as one tends to do before you have children. And I just realized how much the studio meant to me, and I wanted to write you this because this is important. So as you know, I got my black belt, and I remember when I left and we're driving away, my mom and dad are so proud of me. I was so empowered. I'd earned my black belt. I was so proud. And I literally am holding my belt in the car, and I tell my mom and dad, if I can do this, I can do anything, right? Wow. So he's so proud of this. And he says, so after that year, I graduated. And then from high school, I went out of state and went to college. And my freshman year, I struggled. I really struggled. There was a class I was hating. I was miserable. And I remember I just had it. I was going to quit. And I said, tomorrow morning, I'm going to get up. I'm going to call my parents and I'm going to drop out. I'm going to move back home. And he woke up in the morning and he said, I went to go get my clothes on, and I opened my bureau drawer, and there was my black belt. And I picked it up and I looked at it, and I remember telling my parents, if I can do this, I can do anything. Well, except the college class. That's just too much for me. And so he said, I put it back, and instead of getting on the phone, I got on the computer and I registered for that class all over again. And I took it again. I didn't do great, but I passed. And after I passed, I then found classes that I did enjoy, and I found a major I enjoy. I graduated. I then got a job. And with that job, something similar happened. There was a coworker I did not get along with. I wanted to quit. And instead I said, nope, I'm going to have black belt grit. Same thing. If I can earn a black belt, I can push through this. And so I worked twice as hard, and I got recognized for it, and I got promoted. And now I didn't have to deal with that coworker. And then that led me to getting transitioned. I got promoted again to now my dream job. I don't have a job. I've got a career now. It's where I met my wife, and now we're having our first daughter, our first child. And I just realized that if I had dropped out of college, if I had not gotten my black belt, I would have dropped out of college. I would have moved back home. I wouldn't have had my job or my career. I wouldn't have met my wife. I wouldn't have my child. I wouldn't have my family. And your classes, your studio did that for me. And I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. And so this is 10 years ago, and I'm reading that letter, and here I was thinking the competition team, these gold medals and trophies. And I realized here's a kid that's just a normal part of our classes, and he got so much out of this. And I realized my priorities were off. Instead of focusing on gold medals and trophies, we needed to focus on the life lessons and life skills that was capable for all these students, right? And so at that point, I started reaching out and started working with other experts. So I started working with child development psychologists, family therapists, counselor educators, various PhDs in philosophy and psychology to help with character traits, to help with behavior. So school, the goal of school is to teach you skills that are going to prepare you for life, right? Well, reading, writing, math, science, history, great. What about confidence, right? You can go all the way through high school and not have any confidence. In fact, if you're being bullied, school is the thing holding your confidence back, right? School does not have to teach you time management. School taught me how to procrastinate, right? What about, listening skills or focus or having grit, commitment, dedication, goal setting, self-control, self-regulation, leadership skills? All of these things school may or may not teach. And all of these skills are so incredibly important. So what we've done is we've created a program where we use martial arts as a catalyst. A lot of martial arts schools, it's about the punches, the kicks, the control techniques, or whatever it is. We use martial arts as a catalyst to teach these life skills, right? Mm-hmm. In order for students to progress to the next belt level, they have to be working on things at home from mom and dad or at school. So every family is different. And on every belt level, they've got to earn these two behavioral things that we work on. So it could be black belt listening to mom and dad the first time. Parents love that, right? It could be black belt responsibility, cleaning your room. It could be black belt homework, black belt bedtime, not complaining and going to bed, black belt broccoli, right? Whatever. But the kids are excited because they want to earn that next belt level. And we actually have something now where if the kids go above and beyond, they can earn ribbons and medals and trophies. So I combine the two, where it's not about, do you have the strongest punch? It's, do you listen? Do you focus? Can you work on, can you clean your room? Those are really important things. So that's what really sets our program apart. And 4 or 5 years ago is when Marie came on board with me, and it's been fantastic. We've been building it and making it stronger and stronger. And now I'm really proud of our business.
Absolutely. What an incredibly impactful letter that's meant, to change your life, to change the trajectory of your business, and in the process change so many other lives after this letter. I mean, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, what would you say? Why is your business even more important now during COVID?
Yeah.
Well, right now, a lot of people are isolating. School is all online, basically. There's a few hybrid schools, but for the most part, kids are not getting any sort of interactions with other kids the way they used to. And I mean, and it's right now is a vital time in their lives for them to be learning how to interact with their peers and other people around them. And they're not getting that. And so now these kids are struggling. I mean, they're struggling to interact with each other. They're struggling to interact with their parents. Even it's stressful, and so being able to come to a place like our school and be around other children while
safely, right?
while at the same time social distancing is really beneficial to them right now. They're not really getting that anywhere else. I mean, Zoom school is not helping you learn how to, interact with the kids that sit next to you in the classroom. So now we have that where, we do have, each student gets their own box basically, and but they get to at least look at other children in real time and see what other people are doing
and interact with those kids.
Yeah.
Everybody has masks on, but they can still interact.
And it's just so vital for them to be able to do that right now. So I think that right now what we're doing is more important than ever. And and on top of that, they're getting exercise. And a lot of people are not getting enough exercise right now and running around. So now, we're able to help them, get some additional exercise in addition to interacting with other kids. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
For those who don't know about your business, if you would kind of explain, how do they find you physically? How do they find you online, social media, all those different ways?
Sure. Yeah. So we're familyblackbeltacademy.com. We're in Queen Anne, so we're about 3 blocks away from the Fremont Bridge on the Queen Anne side, basically on Nickerson Street, right off Nickerson Street, basically. Going familyblackbeltacademy.com, and then what we do for everybody is we start off with a private intro lesson. Because we want to make sure, I don't want kids just coming in. Can that kid, do they know how to stay in their spots? Can they wear a mask? I want to make sure that kid can do that. And then we're also going to give them some homework to do at home. So we're going to talk to the kids about having black belt focus and black belt listening. And then they got to go home and do that with mom and dad. And I tell mom and dad, I want you to trick them. I want you to wait until they're watching TV and then say black belt listening. And if your kid responds, that's how they earn their belt. So you can literally see this working overnight, right? So we have some stuff for the kid to do, and then that way they can earn their belt. And then they come back, they'll try regular class, and we go from there. So that's always the process we have, and it works really well.
That's awesome. Jason, Marie, I appreciate you doing this. Thank you for helping us all understand, how important businesses can be, how important the lessons are that you're impacting upon the younger generation and families as a whole. Thanks for sharing your story. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Good to talk with you. Have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too.
You too.
Thank you so much. Yep.